Okay, hello everyone. Can you hear me? I need to check this because I haven't done this for a long, long time, and I'm really happy to see so many from so many different countries. And I already saw that there's someone from Australia, lots of different states from the US, and then of course Europe and Finland. So we have people all over the world, and now right now there's 78 already, which is pretty good. And the funny thing is I'm really nervous because I haven't done this for a long, long time. I mean, live streams. I've done videos a lot, but live streams. My last live stream before this, I think it was in March 22. So it's long due, and I'm glad that I have time now to do these, and I hope I will continue to do these every month so that I can comment your 52 assignment images. This one is not about that. This one is about your best image from last year. And we will start shortly to look at those images. And I have to say that the amount was huge, almost 200 images. And I ended up picking up about 36, I think, or 36 or 37, I don't remember, something like that, because I was going for 30, but I just wanted to show a bit more because they were such a high quality. And of course, that's what you expect if you ask the best images from last year, and everyone sends one. There is some stunning photography coming, so I'm glad that there are so many watching. How many of you who are watching did send an image? Please tell us in the chat box, and so that we can see. Let's see what it is. Yeah, there are some. I'm not looking at the comments over there, so just yes. I sent one. I did. Yeah, there are a lot of. There are lots of people there who did send images, and when I show the images, I will talk through them and talk why I like the image, and please comment on the chat section. It's down there. That what do you think about the images? Of sometimes the lag is a bit so that I'm talking about the image and comes to the comments I see a bit later, so I might not really connect which one is for which image. But please do make your own comments and tell us what do you like about the images, or is there something that you would do differently. And I always remember that if you're commenting on someone else's image, to make a comment so that what would you have done to make the image better. It doesn't mean that you are a better photographer or you have to be. You can always comment because everything is very subjective. And of course, all these images that I picked are the ones that I like. Someone else could have picked totally different images because they were very high quality. And that's always a bad thing. I would love to show them all, but 150 to 200 images, no way I don't have the strength, or I could, it'd be way over midnight here in Finland after I finished, and nobody would like to watch that long live stream. Maybe we try sometimes if uh, we'll see if that goes. But now I have a little over 37 images. Let's see. Oh, you have, okay, William Hansen has a phone stream faster than my TV, but stream is on TV and chat is on the phone. All right. So is there a big difference? How much is the difference, William? Good morning from Australia. What time is it in Australia right now? It must be very early in the morning, isn't it? And then in the States, it's afternoon, isn't it? Yeah. So quite a few of you have sent images. Robert, I didn't make any images in 2022. I gave up photography. Is there any reason, if you want to share that with us? It sounds, a bit sad, but I hope it's nothing bad that happened to you, or it's just a lack of interest. That'd be interesting to hear. 11 a.m. in California. Yeah. It's morning over there. And yeah, we have 95. That's a huge crowd in the beginning. But now I think it's time to check out the first image, and I do have your comments about the images that you sent. We're not concentrating on the uh, so much on the specs. I don't really care. And before we look at the images, a few words how I picked them. I picked them so that I didn't know whose image it was. So I had just downloaded all the images, imported them into Lightroom, and then looked at the images without seeing whose image it was. And then after I picked the best images, the 36, 37 images, then I started to look whose images is and copied all the comments that you made about your own image and some background about the image, because it's always interesting to hear the background and why you might liked it. And many of you said that it might not be my best image, but I liked it a lot and thought that it is. So it is your best image if you think that it's one of your best. Maybe someone else would pick another one, but it is the best image for you for a reason. You have a reason for it. It might be the situation that you took the image, you felt good about it, you had a trip or you had a good day, and that kind of represents, and you go back to that particular moment that you enjoyed when you made that image. It could be something like that, or then it's just a very good image when we talk about photographic terms, so that it's kind of like generally a good image. So that's why it's always important to have some kind of a backstory. It makes it more interesting to have a story behind the image. But let's go and let me see. Let's see if I can do this correctly. Now I think yes, I think it changed the image. This one is from Davis Ryder, and I really enjoyed this image. It's really contrasty. There's not much else than black and white, but still, if you look at it, you can see really interesting uh, composition, and it kind of like takes you inside the image. It's kind of like some kind of a warp effect that you just kind of like sucked into the image, and then you start seeing different things. And if you look at the person, I think it's very important to have the person walking there, and you can see the nice rim light around the head, so that it kind of pops out from the image, so that you can actually see it. And then I like the star burst type things, and of course the technical quality isn't perfect, but it doesn't have to be, because it's all about feeling. And I felt really great to see this image. And what he said about it is about winter and spring months, when there is the sun is quite low and there is really big and high contrast things, and there's probably been raining, and so the pavement is reflective, and it's overexposed in some places, but we don't care. It's all about the feeling. I think it's a marvelous image, and a great start for this evening to your best images. Well done, well done. And then let's take the next one. This is John Picha, taken at the Ruby Beach near Forks, Washington, USA, and that was last February, the 28th of February. And the walker just happened along, and the human figure adds scale to the photo. And exactly that's why the person in the image is really important. It gives scale, because without the person in the image, you wouldn't really kind of see the scale, even though you could understand it. It is big. The logs in the front, and then the island in the back. You can see there's some trees, and you can kind of see that it is really, really big. But then on the other hand, without the person in the image, that wouldn't be real. The scale wouldn't be real. Now you really have a good scale, and then you have this aerial perspective where the stuff that is further away are a bit kind of like a gray, more gray if you compare it to the rock in the front, which is almost black. And then you have a gray in the background, but it's still probably the same color. But it is the aerial perspective, because there's rain and fog and everything. And having the logs in the front gives some depth to the image. You have different layers. You have the front, and then you have the rocks in the middle, then you have the island in the back, and then you have the sky in the back, which is at this time no details in the sky at all. But it doesn't really matter. Let's see if there are any comments. Yeah, I agree, Tina, that looking at 200 images is no way. Let's see. Very dramatic contrast. Yeah. And depth of field and perspective. Yes. Dramatic in black and white. Well, 100 watching and only 20 likes per showing. Yeah. Hit that like button. I think that would be much appreciated. Let's take the next one. And then we have this from Jack the Cock. Walking the dog. I passed this place dozens of times the last years without noticing. One afternoon, the light was accentuating the reflections of the red stems in the water, and the heron beautiful contrasted the scene. Next year's will go unnoticed again, I guess. Hope not, because always when you're walking your dog, keep your eyes open to other things too, and find something to photograph, because that's a good way of making images because the dog has to be taken out. You has to take the dog for a walk, and just take the camera along and try to see different things also when walking the dog, because the dogs might stop a little while and you might want to take an image. That could be a good project, that every time the dog starts sniffing something, stops or do its business while it's outside, take an image. Not necessarily about the dog, something that you see. That could make an interesting set of images. But I really enjoy this, and the fact that the bird, the heron, is right in the middle is kind of good on this image. Usually you want to have it on the side or something like that, but on this one I think it's really great that it is right in the middle, and then the reflection, and it actually looks like there is two reflections. If you look at the reflection of the bird, and then you have another this black line, which is probably not a reflection, but it's a bit surreal also, the image. And then you have the branches from the sides, which are really making a lot to the image, so that you kind of like have a frame. And this is a stunning image, and this could be printed big on a wall, would look stunning. Of course, it needs a lot of space around it too, so you need to have a big apartment to print this big on a wall. But yes, it is very, very good, and I hope you see something like this year too. So don't be, what do you call it, be negative about it. Just be positive and think that you will see something as good this year too on that spot when you're walking the dog. But thanks for sending this. I really enjoyed this image. And then we have a totally different image from Lauren Bunt from the leading lines assignment. So this is part of the let me try that when there is this way. It was from the leading lines assignment. Fresh dusting of snow on a cherry tree got one commuter to look up. Yeah, it's a bit surreal, and the person looks a bit odd there. And first I looked at if it's some kind of a mannequin or what it is. But the leading lines is definitely there. You can see the tracks of the cars, and then it kind of leads you into the image. And then you see the car and the person, then you see some houses behind, but it's not too busy. Sometimes this type of image might be a bit too busy. There's too many elements, too many things going on. But I think part of it is black and white, but on the other hand, I don't think there were any colors. I'm not even sure if it is a black and white image or is it a color image. It probably look the same, because that's what it looks like in Finland right now. A lot of snow and no colors, so everything is kind of grayscale. So waiting for the spring. What do you guys think about this type of image? This is not for everyone. I can understand that someone might think that what's going on, but I think this image is very strange in a good way, and I just like this image. It's something about it. Sometimes when you see an image, you just don't really or it's hard to explain what the things are that you like in an image. But if you like it, then try to figure it out. And I think the composition on this one is probably the one that I like. Is the leading lines, and then the road, and then the car and the person are on the right spot in the whole area of the image. So the composition is really something marvelous on this one. And then we have another image that is totally different. This one was also part of the the 52 assignment from last year. This is indoor macro assignment, and I'm really glad that many of you sent an image from that, because that tells me that assignments really pushed you to make better photography, and I'm really glad that so many of you had your best image from that particular assignments. It's really heartwarming. Thank you for that. Okay, I've never been this creative before. I made a web of glue sticks and used a water spray bottle for the drops, also reflective paper and colored rotating light. Learned a lot and especially had a lot of fun making this photo. And I think that's the key thing, to have fun. I probably say it every time on a live stream or my videos when we talk about photography, that it should be fun, and it should be something that you enjoy. It's relaxing, or it should be, and don't push too much. If you start pushing and stressing to get that image, you will probably don't get, or you will not most likely get it, because you just have to relax. And it's the same thing every time you photograph. Just have fun and don't stress about it. And if you don't get the image that time, you will get it next time. The more thing is to have fun, and sometimes you might do something like this and it doesn't, let me turn that off so you can see the whole image. You just see something, try to make something like this, and then you fail. But if you had fun making it, it was worthwhile. I think this type of photography is great, because you don't really know what it is, but it just looks good, and that's what I think. And you had some effort to do this, and marvelous job. Oh, here we can go. And now we have an image from Pauli Araneva, who I actually know personally, and he's a good friend and a fun guy, and a good photographer. And I hope Pauli don't mind, but he has posted lots and lots of photographs from the 80s and the 90s in Facebook, when he did a lot of traveling when he was a younger man. Now he's a bit older man. But now I know that his passion is to photograph cat shows, which is something that I used to when we had our cats in shows, but luckily I don't have to do it anymore. And here was one has said that I don't know if it is the best, but I personally like it the best of my photos from last year. So that makes it your best image in your own perspective. And what I like about this is the fact that they are looking to the different sides, and clearly the girl is very proud of her cat. She's really proud, and probably, I don't know how the cat performed in the cat show. And then of course the color contrast, the hair and the color of the cat, and of course the cat is seeing something and is alert, and you can see the paw is a bit like this, the claws and everything, and the whiskers are really alert, and of course the background is really good, because usually in a cat show and in a places you have really backgrounds that have all over the place. You have everything in the background. You got other cats and all kinds of stuff, and this is really nice and calm, and the color of the background is also good. It really kind of adds up to the color of the cat and the hair of the girl, and the hand is really elegantly there, and everything just works on this image, in my opinion. It's I would say that the best image from Pauli that I've seen from those cat shows. Well done, Pauli. Yeah, let's see. Get great portrait with pet, excellent macro. Yeah, that was the one before. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm looking at I'm looking at the comments, so that's why I might be a bit quiet. But you can enjoy the image if there is any. Yeah, no problem, Pauli. Good job. And then this image is interesting. I hope I got the name right, because there was some of you put the names in the file name so that I could see whose image it is. But this one had a kind of like a strange name, but I think it is Peter Blake. I hope I got the name right. And this looks really strange. It's like a drawing in a way, and it's been a bit slightly too much noise reduction, because it's a bit plastic looking. But somehow I really enjoyed this, and the color contrast. You got the blue bike, then you have the red restaurant wall there, Le Marius, and then you have yellow pants and blue jacket. You got all the colors going on, and then the way the eye goes into the image is that you see the bike, or actually you see the restaurant, then you see the bike, and then you see the guy in the back, and then there is some, I don't know, it looks like a dinosaur in the back, standing a statue. I don't know what it is in the back. If Peter Blake is here, it'd be nice to hear what it is. And of course, if you could go to Google Maps and see and find that restaurant, you could probably Google Street View, you could find that place, and you could go and check out what that is. But yeah, it's like a cartoon, and the colors and everything. It's there's something about this, and actually now I noticed there is also green on the balcony in the top right hand corner, which adds up to the image. And there's not too much going on, even though it is a bit busy image. But I'm glad that there aren't that many people in the street, because if the street was full of people, and that would have been too much. I think it's quite good like this. What do you guys think about Restaurant Le Mario's image? Okay, William Hansen says it's an interesting comment. My kind of let me see if I can show this on the screen. Yeah, I think it does. My kind of street photography, more focus on the surroundings and environment than humans. Yeah, I actually have scripted a video about street photography and approaches, and that is one of the approaches that you don't really connect or not connect, but have that many humans in there. But you have to have an element of a human, traces of a human, usually in a street photograph. And some also said that it's a movie poster. Yes, I could probably see this as a poster for Kaurismäki movies, the newer ones, not the film noir type black and white stuff that he used to do, but this one probably is the one that could be. If you remember the movie Le Havre, that something about the color or the colors on this image. There is something about this that I really like. Yeah, like Pauli says, that fine picture like a movie scenes. That's exactly what it is, and that's probably the reason. I'm glad that it came up. That's something that I kind of thought but never really said out loud, that it is like a movie. And that's why I probably enjoyed it. And of course, the colors are kind of nice. They're not too bright, but they are saturated enough, but not kind of like candy colors screaming out. They're slightly subtle done. But this one was also well done. Well done. Now let me see what's next. What do we have next? We have a portrait made by James Boyer. Shot in May 2022, after dark on the streets of Geneva, Switzerland, during a workshop with Peter Colson on night photography with the Swiss Photo Club. Ukrainian model, and it's also a manual focus lens that he used. And everything about this image works as a portrait. You have a nice creamy background, a nice bokeh. There are images that bokeh is nice, and a nighttime portrait usually is the ones where they work. If you don't want to, it depends on what the story is in the image. If you want to show the surroundings more, then this wouldn't be good. But this way, I really think this is a stunning portrait, and the hand, the position of the hand and everything. The hairs and slightly mouth open, and then the intensive eye contact with the camera. It's just marvelous. And then on the left lower corner, you can see, maybe I'll turn my, let me see, I can turn off my name. How do I do that? I don't know. Well, just ignore it. You have something in the front, as you see on the lower left corner, which kind of is in top of the model, or in front, which makes it, or gives it some depth. I wouldn't mind if there were some more of that too. This is a stunning image, and usually when people look at these images, they start to look at the hair is not perfect. If you have the top of her head, that the hair is kind of a bit messy. But you're outdoors, there's wind. I don't think it's good. I think it adds to the image. The more there's kind of like a movement when you see something like that. And we're 124. That's not a bad crowd. I'm very happy. Thanks for spending the time with me and the images. Okay, and let's go to the next one. And this is Lori Shutt, and this blossom was part of a plant given to me for Mother's Day, so it's May. Yes, May. I was able to isolate the stem without cutting it from the plant. And it was made with a macro lens, and I, of course, stopped down quite a bit. And I usually don't enjoy black backgrounds because there is, no details, no context where it is. But usually flowers, colorful flowers like this, they are stunning when you have a black background because the colors pop out, and then you have the light on this one particularly is stunning because you can see the shape, you can see the structure, you can see everything on that. And I think this is just a simple and nice image, which is something also could be printed big on a wall, on a glossy print. This could be one of those metallic glosses or something that would look stunning. And that's really, really something great. And here we can actually, or have an example of things to photograph that you don't have to go to exotic locations to get good images. You might get flowers for Mother's Day, birthday, or just, for any reason. And then you could take some stunning photos of those. And I think that's a good use of flowers or plants. In this case, a plant. I think it's everything is a photo opportunity. It's just the way to execute, how to execute that photograph. And I think anything can be photographed, just how to do it. Some things are harder and some things are easier. You would think that this is an easy shot, but it's not. It's really hard to make a stunning image of something like this. Of course, it's not a simple. There are a lot of shapes and stuff like as I talked about, but still, you would think that it's easy, but it's not. These are actually quite hard to find the perfect position, perfect light, and everything on this image. But well done. And then we have Stefan Semichki. This is a street photograph shot taken last summer after a theater piece. It was raining and I was hiding just a few meters away from this picturesque scene at the tram stop. So many stories here. I loved the scene and had to photograph it. And it's also with a manual lens. So this also was with a vintage lens. I think is what it says, Takumar. So you don't need the greatest and the newest lenses to get images like this. And I think this is, to be honest, this is one of the best images on the whole set. And I just love it. The whole feeling. It is also kind of like from a movie, or it's almost like a drawing. It's just I don't have any words. It's so good, which probably sounds pretty stupid when I'm explaining why I like the images. They're not saying, but I don't have any words. But all the reflections and the dirt on the tram stop windows and everything, and then the people there are like perfectly positioned, even though the photographer has nothing to do how they are. It's just about catching the image at the right spot or the right time. And I think that's one of the things, because I was, looking at closely and everything is there, and the colors or the tone of the colors is marvelous. It's brilliant editing, and the composition is too. It's not the obvious. Many of us would have cropped it just to show that, but I think seeing the street and the reflection in the front kind of takes us into the image, and I think that's one of the greatest part of the image. Well done, Stefan. Really enjoyed this one. Yeah, like this one. Let me add one more. The rain adds a vintage grain to it. Has a noir feeling, exactly. exactly. And this one, like from Jörg Hummerjohan, like an old Dutch painting, Dutch painting. Is that Dutch or Dutch? Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, it is. I agree. Was Summer Joseph's best one yet? Very evocative. I hope it was about this image because, as I said, there's a bit of a lag in the chat, and we are 127. That's a good crowd. And then we have this, which was something spectacular. What it is about, shot this conjunction of planets and moon in April 22, early hours at my local Drakensbrook Veer. This is a combination of few shots as the clouds were moving and blocking some of the planets and the moon. Not until I viewed the photo on my laptop did they really speak to me, and was very pleased with the outcome. Yeah, and something like this is okay to do composite images, but it's not okay to add the stars if they went like that, because that usually will you will get caught, because there are people that know about this and how the stars are. But this is a stunning image, and a good example of a composite image, even though you don't show it. There were some clouds hiding some of the stars, and then just waited and took another one, and then combined them. And I think this is a magical image in a way. There is some cloud some light pollution in the horizon, but I don't really mind that. It usually opens up a bit. But I know that if you're a purist, you don't want that. You want to have the pitch black sky. I don't really mind the light pollution, but I know that I'm not or there are a lot of people that don't agree with me when we talk about images like this, astrophotography. And usually having something in the foreground is good. And here is some bushes, and if there is a possibility, what many astrophotographers do, they do some light painting in the front. They just have a small flashlight that they paint the trees in the front to get some details in the image. So it's not just the skies and the stars. That's one thing, and I like that there is some things in the bottom part, and some lights and some reflections on the probably a river. This is a lot. I think he said the exposure on these were 15 seconds. Yeah, that's a long exposure, and that's why the water is in the front is kind of like smooth and buttery. And then we go to the next one, and then we have another plant. The morning sunlight on this canana leaf offered graceful shadows and depth. This is another good example of a simple subject that is well photographed. You need, like he was talking about, John Eamon was talking about, is the morning sunlight. Morning and evening lights are or light is the best when the sun rises and when it sets. Usually then you have the best light, and if that is the time that you have the possibility to go out to photograph, then go, because then you get images like this. This wouldn't be possible in the middle of the day, because there wasn't, or the light would be not that good. The reason that when the sun is low is that there is so much particles in the air that it will kind of be like a small reflector, so it's a bit softer, the light, and usually it's also warmer, and that's why images like this is possible. And I like on this one particularly the background. There is some nice colors going on, green, red, brown, and then you have the yellowish orange plant in the middle. So everything works on this, and the composition, and I also like it's probably 16:9, so it's a nice crop too. It kind of makes the plant even longer when you have a more panoramic crop. Of course, in this way it's vertical, but anyways, it's the same thing here. You have all the texture. You have you can feel and see the texture on the leaf or plant, and that's marvelous. It's well done. Well done. And then we have Yossi Ran. I have a lot of cityscape pictures of my beautiful city Haifa in Israel. Maybe I'll turn myself off for a little so you can see the whole image from the harbor of Mount Carmel and Baja Gardens and the whole area. For the assignment, I wanted to make something different. I took some pictures from Hadar towards the Carmel Center. Then I looked back and saw the reflection of the view on the window walls on the old shopping center. And this is something that many do. There's actually a drill about this. And he was photographing the scene that is reflected on a shopping mall that was behind him when he was photographing. And that is something that you should sometimes do. It's a good practice. Photograph, let's say that you're walking in the streets of your hometown and then you see something, photograph it, and then turn around and photograph to the other side. You might find the images right there behind you. And the same thing is if there is a lot of tourists photographing a church or statue or something, make a photograph to the other direction and see what's there. And usually you might find an image like Yossi did here. I think most likely this image is a lot better than the image that he took to the other side or the actual scene. And this reflection is most likely a lot better. It's a lot more interesting with the curved things and everything going a bit distorted, and the colors probably a bit distorted because of the color of the glass, which most likely is a bit bluish on this. And yeah, it's a lot more interesting than an image that would be just this scene without the distortions. Well done. Oh yes. Oh yes, Iran. That's mine. My lovely Haifa. Yeah, it is yours. And let's see what others say. Looks like an impressionistic painting, like Teresa says. And it does. It does. It makes it more interesting, like I said. And let's see, painterly look. Yeah, that is. Love the colors and the painterly look. That's exactly why it is so interesting. And let's go to the next one. Then we have a street view on a very popular street alley in central Melbourne. Several factors converge to make this a really interesting image. And yeah, I love this type of street photography. You have the red lady taking a photograph. Then you start thinking or looking at what is she photographing? I don't know. But then there is another girl taking a photograph of another girl that's sitting there behind. And I think it is good that the kind of like the girl that's posing, that it's slightly behind the lady with the red coat, because then you don't see it immediately. It would be probably a bit distracting if it was so that it would be in the middle of everything. The only small thing is the motorcyclist on the right side behind another girl that's photographing, taking a photograph of the girl in front of the graffiti. But this image has a lot going on, but it's still, everything is kind of in the place. You see like I said, you see the red lady, and then you go to the other girl, and then you go back to what's behind the red lady. And I think it's also a bit humorous image. It's hilarious. I think there's a bit of a comedy here, and then also the position of the lady with the leg, a bit up and very elegant way of standing, and I think that's real. And then you have the way that the girl is standing, the other girl is photographing. It's more of a modern, not very good in, what do you call this when you really standing up and not going like this down like she is. That's it's also kind of like a different generation, so there's a lot of going on. And of course the graffiti in the background, which you probably, if have been following my channels, know that I love graffitis and like to photograph them, so that also adds up to the image to me. But yeah, this is hilarious. I really love this image. It was by Margaret Wong. Sorry, I didn't say the name. And yeah, one page down and some more images to go. And then we have the next one. we have a silhouette. This was Bendegoose Nedvik. It was shot on the festival of the city where I was studying. I only had my new I only had my new camera for a month or so, and I was still experimenting. It was a tricky to shoot in almost total darkness, but the IBIS helped a lot. Yeah, it does. It does a lot. I fell in love with this camera. It's a great travel companion. Right now in Barcelona, I have nice images from the city, but I feel for last year this was a memorable event, and also in my journey in photography. It was the camera. You probably want to know it was the EM5 Mark III that he got, and yes, usually it is so that you kind of the first images with the new camera and everything. Usually, you don't become a better photographer when you get a new camera, but it might give you some uh, kind of like a creativity boost because you might take it out more often because you want to use it and learn how to use it, and that's also good. And this is also a simple image, and I think it's very well executed because it's not actually that easy to make this image. You need to focus properly, and that might be a bit of a problem when you have the smoke and everything. It might cause some trouble with the AF, and then you have a bright light in the smoke or coming towards the camera, which might make some tricks to the exposure. But I think this is done perfectly, and I really like that there is slight kind of like a rim of light in the front here that kind of separates it from the background, and then you have the darkest part is right there on the brightest part of the background, and I think the background smoke is also very good shape, lots of different colors, lots of different tones going on there, and I think this is marvelous. And if this is just your start, I really want to see where you're going because this is a stunning image. And also, someone would think that the composition is not right, but it is. It has. I tend to like this type of composition where you have a lot of empty space, which do have a meaning on this image. It's not empty. It's all the smoke or whatever that is going on there, and the colors and the shades and all the different tones of yellowish color here. It's well done. Well done. Let's see what you have said about the image. Yeah, this is a good one. That's a good one. CD cover style. I hope it was the it was about this image. I hope. And then Andrea said, "Great shot. Love the silhouette." Yeah, I do. Yeah, more minimalistic, but great. I agree. And then that's true. It can be a book cover. I don't know what book could it be. Also, do you have a book in mind or the story in mind? And this is something that I really like because this image, like Yossi said, it can be a book cover, and probably you start thinking what kind of a book it is. Is it a mystery story? Maybe a what is it called? Sci-fi, sci-fi. Sorry, sci-fi, sci-fi, or whatever. But oh, this is embarrassing. I can't say that. But anyways, and then a murder mystery says, a murder mystery saying John Picture. Yeah, that could be too. And then you would probably start thinking about the story, and that's why this image is such a great image. And then let's take a next one. And let's see which I probably don't have now. I need to check. Let's do this. It doesn't say. Let me see. Yeah, Andy McGarty. It's Natalie. But now I don't. I No, it's yeah. I do have the correct text. I'm sorry. The light was low and the color shot has glown of the sun and barley, but I prefer the mono version. I'm colorblind and love working in mono. That's interesting. Yeah. And I know the model Natalie for a few years and have a great working relationship with her. And yeah, that is something. If you have a model that you like to photograph, just keep on photographing him or her, because when you get to know each other, you already know what the other one wants, so that you know the poses and the photographs. It's just because it's in portrait photography, it's more important to click with the person than to click the shutter. So that's why it's important to have a good relationship with the model and try to connect to get images like this. And this has the the classical things, the eye contact, mouth is slightly open, and then the composition is a bit kind of like not the correct way, but that's why it makes it a lot interesting. And then you have the hat that kind of frames the face, and it's just stunning image. Is my audio clipping? Should I take it a bit down? Maybe it is. I don't know. Is someone else? Just let me know if someone else thinks that it is a clipping. Yes, Mr. Terrence 18, interaction with the model and the photographer. That's exactly what I meant. That's really important. That's really important. Let's see. Is there any in the consequence? Yeah. Okay. The audio sometimes goes robotic. Yeah, but I survived. That could be also the internet connection on my end or your end. That could be it. But I'm sorry. Just please let me know if there is some problems. No problem. The audio here says John. Audio is fine. Yeah, it could be the internet connection, because of course that's always something. And then we have a next one. This is Annika Joval, and this image was made in our workshop that we had here in Helsinki last August with Matti Sulanto, and we will have that again. I will talk about that a bit later after this image, because this is and about Annika, she was photographing only nature, and then during that workshop here in Helsinki, she started to photograph in the city and people too, which she hasn't done before. And she came up with really great images of people, and this was one of the best ones. And this was in Suomen Island. It's a old military fortress from 1700s in front of Helsinki, and we had a day there to photograph. And then she found this wall and this guy with the carriage, or what do you call that stuff, and with the proper color clothes. And this is always a thing with when we're photographing. We see something, and then we could wait something to happen there, or we could react to something. We see that, hey, there's someone coming with that color shirt, and there is a wall where it fits. And at the same time, this image is a bit hilarious, because it's I don't know, it's a bit funny too, and also the fact that it is a bit concave or distorted, like a barrel distortion slightly. It makes it even more fun. The image, it doesn't have to be straight. I mean the perspective, or not the perspective, but the lens correction. I think I like the way that it is a bit like a barrel distortion. It really makes it more interesting. And of course, like I said, the character is interesting with the interesting color. What do you call this? Clothing. Well done, Annika. And let's see. I'll change here and see if yes. Here we have the workshop that we'll have, and it's it's this machine, and when it is in July 31st and to August 4th, where we have it. And we do both. Matti and I have some videos on our channel about it, and That was about 22. Where it is? For more info, here it is. And here is about the program, which starts on Monday. Will start on Monday, July 31st. And the way it goes is that what we have is that every day we gather in a place, a venue, right downtown Helsinki, and then what we do is look at the images from yesterday, from the day before. We have assignments for you for every day, and then we go back out and shoot more. And the end result will be a 4 to 6 image story. So it's all about storytelling. But I will put some links in the description if you're interested. But we will continue with the images next. And then we have Lauren, which is always hard to say, the Shvidersky. And man waiting for a train with an odd mask on was shot in St. Louis Obispo, which is in California. It is very rare to see any sharp-dressed people around here. He also has an ear speaker in place. Such an interesting man. I added this shot to one of my photo books, and I'm now making 8x8 photo books collections. It is so neat to see your works in print and actually hold them. That's true. That is something that let's make it like that, and I'll come back online here. Yeah, making photo books is something that you really should do to get your best 20 images from a year and print a book, and then you have a big memory for that year, because the images tend to be buried in the hard drives, and unfortunately we don't go that much back to the old images. But if you have a book, you can have it on the coffee table and just take a look and get inspired by your own work. And I think that's a great, and this is stunning. This is just a real classical street photography. There's some old time vibes to it for some reason, and it's just a spectacular street photograph. I'd say that's one of the best images on this whole set of images that I'm showing tonight. Okay, I have to show this. Thanks, James. My two favorite Finnish photographers. And he's talking about me and Matti, probably, I guess. Thanks, James. Great black and white image as from a movie. And this is something that is interesting. It has come many times tonight that people are saying that it's from a movie. Usually that means that it's the images, and somehow we could call it cinematic. And also there's a story in the image. We start thinking about the movie. What is the movie? Why is it going? Where is it going? And what's in the bag, and what's with the mask, and why is he dressed like that in that place? Like Lauren says, that there aren't too many people dressed like that on that particular station. So there's a lot of things that you start asking yourself, and many times an image that doesn't tell you everything is a lot better than an image that tells you everything. So the less the image tells you, the better the image is, because that will kind of boost your creativity or viewers' creativity, and start thinking of what's going on and why. And we all have a different story, and none of them are wrong, because we make the stories from our own experience, what we have experienced in life, and what we are and who we are. And it's totally fine. There isn't one story in an image, and usually an image that people get inspired because of the story are great. And let's continue. And this is Paul Bradley. Beautiful morning sunrise with mist greeted me at St. Aidan's Reserve near Leeds, England. I was lucky to catch these early in flight. Yeah, this is, again, early morning, nice light. Usually the light makes this image. This would not be a great image if the light was dull, even though the birds are kind of like in a perfect position and they're flying. It looks like they're chasing the one. I don't know if they do, and probably not. but that's what it looks like because this one is a big head, and then it's all about timing and pressing the shutter at the right time because the birds might not be in a perfect position, and that's something that you cannot control as a photographer. How the birds fly, that's something out of your control. So you just have to be pressing the shutter at the right time. That it would be, and the background again, some aerial perspective that the uh, further away there, not that bright color and not that deep blacks or deep colors and less details, and then the sky and the field in the front and kind of like a small mist. This is something that could be when it starts freezing in fall. You see these fields that have this kind of like a mist because of the cold weather and the differences in the different levels of the air. You have different what do you call different temperature air that makes the mist, and that's a good take. But get up early and go out and photograph with the morning sun. Really well done. And then another similar type image from Lindsay Whelans, visiting a friend's cottage in the southern part of eastern Ontario, Canada, in July 2020. The sunrise was hiding behind the fog, and the birds and loons were busy looking for their breakfast. And this is also looks a bit old. It's kind of like a vintage feeling to it. Of course, it is because of the editing and the colors and the tones, and also like the crop or the composition, because you have some white in the there up in the upper part of the image, and then you have one bird in the perfect position there. This is also about timing, because without the bird it would be pretty boring image, even though the bird is really small in the whole picture area. And the mist again in the front of the trees makes the image whole because it gives some depth to the image. Very well done. Very well done. And then let's go to the next one. Then we have some zebras. The Don Waveter. This was taken on safari in Kenya. Yeah, I like this kind of like a not graphic. That's the wrong word. Say in Finnish would be graphic, but I don't know what the word is. But anyways, the black and white, the contrast, and then the subtle contrast in the background. This is really marvelous. And the funny thing is that you don't really see the heads of the zebras. You only see the zebras and really punchy blacks and really bright whites. So very good editing also on this image, which is of course always a part of a good image is the editing part. And then good thing is that you have some details in the back. You have some trees and maybe some hills in the back, which kind of adds up to the image. So it's not totally blank the sky. It's always a hard thing or hard weather to photograph. You don't have any details in the sky. It's not easy because you need something in the sky for an image to be good. Very seldom a blank sky is good. This one it works, and because you have some hills in the back and some different tones and colors. But this one works really well. And probably the color version would be quite similar, even though of course maybe the sky would be a bit bluer. That black zebra with white stripes or a white zebra with black stripes? I don't know. That's a good question. No idea. Yeah, there is. Yeah, the compression in YouTube is of course, but I have a stream on the monitor here, and my monitor I can see some details in the sky, in the background with the bushes on. And let's go to the next one. Some bird photography again. Let's see. The picture sent was taken in Hanover area at the small pond. So this was in Germany, and this is Heiko Graf Warnecke who took this image, and pretty good moment, and this is all about reacting to the moment when you can get something like this. Could be pure luck, or could be something that you see and then you just catch it, and without good reflexes and good knowledge of the birds and good knowledge what's going to happen, you wouldn't get this image. And I think this is one of the best images. It's a stunning image. There is something it's not only a portrait of a kingfisher. I think it is. It's an action shot which makes it a lot more and a lot better photograph. Of course, an image or portrait of a bird can be a beautiful image, but if you have something like this, it's even better. And important also on an image like this is that you can see the feathers, that there are details and the colors, and you can really see the difference. So it's not just the flat color surface, but you really see the feathers, and you can kind of almost feel what the bird feels like when you have all the feathers showing and all the colors and colors and light and everything. This is a beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. And then we have, and then again, something totally different. This is from Paul Sharp. The photo Moonrise at the beach was taken on September 10th at the beach of Gatteo, Mare, Italy. The photo is out of the camera without any post-processing. Well, that's interesting because I was just about to comment about the post-processing. But if you look at this very gloomy and very dramatic image too, because it's a lot of things going on, but still it's a bit surreal, and it's a bit like an apocalypse and the doom day and the last day, and everything's going to blow up and everybody has left, and it's an in a way a bit apocalyptic scene to me because of the emptiness, and it's like I said, a bit surreal too. And then you have the sun there in the middle, or actually the moon in the middle. And then what I like about it is that it's kind of the what do you call, the sky is kind of cracked because you have some lines that goes through the moon, so it's kind of opening up for some reason, but for somehow, and I think it's a stunning image, and you wouldn't see this as an image or photo opportunity if you don't have kind of like a pre-visualize the thing, what it could come out. And actually now I realize that there are some people also in the image. Can you find them? I didn't see that before. Now I just realized that there are some people also in the image. Can you find them? Yeah, I totally agree that the lighting is amazing, and that's always about an image. If the light is not good, usually an image is quite dull. The light is what makes the image, because photography is painting with light. So you need light, and you need certain type of light to make a certain type of what do you call a feeling to the image, and that's why. And yeah, someone is saying, John Visser is saying, looks like rockets ready for launch. That's true. That's true. It's a bit surreal. You have to really look what it is, and that's why the image was picked for this, because it is a really, really interesting image. That's a good question. A good question by Blader Peak. What planet is it on? We have to ask Paul. If Paul is here, he can tell. That's a good one. That's a good one. And then a very interesting landscape and stunning image, even though it doesn't really have a subject, but it still has a subject, the mountain in the back, and all the fog and all the aerial perspective that makes the image. And then you have the horizon and you have a few peaks in the back, and perfect composition, perfectly placed the biggest mountain on the back, just on a perfect place. And you don't need any more air in the upper part of the image. It's just stunning. By the way, we still have way over 100 people after a little more than an hour. That's a good crowd. Thanks for being here. And let's see what Craig Smith says about this. I was returning home from vacation. Wildfire smoke was all around the area where we live, near Mount Rainier in Washington State, USA. As the plane descended, I had a great view through the window of the smoke around Mount Rainier, Mount Adams, and Mount St. Helens. So this is taken from an airplane, if I understood this correctly. Pretty lucky that you saw this stunning image. Have you printed this, if you're here? Yeah, this is something. I have feeling there's like multiple images, one here, even if you crop it in certain parts. That's true. That's true. And here it is. Here's the fact. Mount Doom. Yes. And let's continue with the images. And one of the images that made me smile. This is looks hilarious. Looks hilarious. Look at the composition and the position here. It's just hilarious. This image was taken early one morning in October 2022 on a C&O canal at Violet's Lock on the Potomac River in Maryland, USA. I was looking for bald eagles who live nearby. I spotted a deer family about 130 meters ahead of me on the trail and immediately took several shots. I chimped the photos and satisfied with the results, looked up again to see the deer arranged exactly as you see them in this photograph. A second or two after I took this photo, they ran away. There is a good thing about this that you didn't chimp much. Try not to chimp when something like this is going on. After they're gone, then chimp the images, because it was very close that you could miss this image because you were chimping. And did I say the name? This was Timothy Bates. Sorry if I didn't say the name. And this, yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree with Marek Itar. It's incredible shot. Yeah, it is. It totally is. Cerberus meets Bambi. Yeah, good one, James. Good one, James. Yeah, that's true. Superb. Old odd numbers always work. That's true. 3, 5, 7, 9 usually goes really well. Yeah, I totally agree, John. It makes you smile, and that's why I picked this for this show. And we still have a few. We still have a few images left. Let's go to the next one. This is Andrea Acevedo. I like moment in my shots, so I'm very keen on using slow shutter speeds. I also love taking photos in the subway, and you know that from our time in Lisbon. Yes, I met Andrea when I was in Lisbon, and he guided me in many great places. Thank you again. So the shot I am submitting is a framing of people with the windows of the subway moving, and also sending the black and white because I love to shoot black and white ideas. And then he asked, "Hope I like it." Yes, I liked it very much. And this is also something that can happen if you look around and think creatively, because subways, if you are allowed to photograph inside a inside metro station, subway. In some parts of the world, you cannot do that. If sometimes here in Helsinki, it's not even possible. If they might start harassing you if you start photographing there. I don't know why, but anyways, always when you're going abroad, check the laws, the local laws, that you really know what you can photograph. But in Lisbon, it's totally okay to photograph in subways. At least when I was there in October, I didn't have it, or November, I didn't have any problems. But what I like about this are, of course, the people in the middle of the shot. And then the slow shutter speed has kind of made the metro uh, just lines, and then framing people in the shot. And even though there is quite a lot of empty space, it makes it more calm, the image, even though the metro is moving fast. And it's an image that you could watch a bit longer just to enjoy it. It's there's something about it. I don't know. What do you think about this type of images? And I don't know if Andre is here. There is a question: focus lock on the people and the slow train passing. Most likely, yes. You kind of make the focusing to the people, and then you just wait for the train to come. And of course, you have to be a bit luck so that the people won't go away. Yeah, this is an interesting comment from William. If they want to stop me from taking photos, they need to take my eyes. All right, pretty fierce. So, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, this is something that you have to be aware of, or be alert, and that's why looking at some other, or looking at people's images, other photography images, give you creativity. Like Andy says, love this. No way I would have spotted the shot. But probably next time you could find something similar, or you could apply this to moving cars, running people, or whatever. But the idea is there. You don't have to take the same image. It won't be, but still use the technique. And concentrate on this one. Focus on the people in the back, and then wait for the train to come. And then you need probably take several images, because you want those people to be visible. If that black line, which is probably a shadow, would have been on top of those people, you wouldn't see them. And that's why it's about experimenting. Sometimes you might miss, and you don't get it, or it doesn't look that good. But experimenting and trying different things and different moving objects in the front might help. Great job, Andre. We are here. And then Raymond Hudson, yachts on Sydney Harbour. It is rare to get a squadron of yachts close together and heading in the same direction. The background of the city adds to the photo, and there is a bit drama in the city. I totally agree, and this also is kind of like a poster. It has a bit old-fashioned look to it, which is, and I'm saying this, it's a good way. And as you said, the city in the background and the dramatic sky makes the image. And then, of course, if this occasion that the sailboats are going to the same direction, and there are a lot of them, is not very common, that also adds up to the whole image. And I think this one also is a stunning image. There's quite a lot going on behind the boats. It's a bit busy, but it is a city. It is a busy place, and usually in a city environment, it's really hard to get really calm background. They are busy, and it also tells about the busyness of a city. So in that sense, it's totally fine and okay. I really like this. Yeah, I totally agree. It looks unreal. It does. It does look unreal, but I think in a good way. And we still have a few more shots, and then we have an image by Sean Buckley. I had a hard time picking an image, but I like this one for the muted colors and the runner emerging from the mist. More than that, it represents making an effort, as I'd seen the conditions would be good the night before and got up early. Good thing, get up early. That's a good thing. That's something I rarely do. So I see it as a sign of progress in my photography that I'm making that effort. Yeah, usually good images, you need to have some effort. They don't come to you. You have to go to the good image. And yes, the person in the image is really important. And without that, it would be just a, you know, almost nothing. And what I really like is the bench the in the woods. And is there a dog or another person sitting there? I'm not really sure. But if you look closely on the left side, there's actually a person and a dog, and another dog maybe, even though even in the behind the tree. But you don't really. It's not too distracting because you don't really see them. You see the runner and the white shirt on this particular image is perfect. So it could have been something else that would not have suited the image that well. But that's also something, you know, to have some good luck. But if you don't have the effort first, you won't have the good luck. It comes after the effort. And on this particular one, it was getting up early and photographing and looking at the weather forecast for next day to probably there will be mist. I will get up early. I will get the good shot. And that paid off. So I hope you can do that this year too, many, many times to get shots like this. Well done. And then we have image from William, the first snow of 2022. You can even see the heat and frost fight in the sky. That's true. That's a good observation. And I'd really like this. It's simple image and a bit strange in a good way. The shape and or the tree or the whatever that is, and then you have some you know trees that are not that high on the sides, but then in the middle it's kind of like a I don't know, almost like an animal sleeping there. And then of course the perfect sky, and like you said, the heat and frost fight in the sky is well said, and I think that's big part of the image is the sky. Like I've said before, that if this was just a flat sky, it would probably look nothing. It wouldn't be an image, but with the sky and with the symmetrical composition, it works really well. Well done, William. And then John Dyer. I like it because it's out of the ordinary. A bus in the Highlands. You don't see it every day. Yeah, I've been there a few times driving around and photographing in the Highlands in Scotland, and yeah, I didn't see anything like this. I saw some phone booths which were really odd right in the middle of nowhere, but that was actually needed because there are some places that you don't have any service for your mobile phone. What's that? Well, it doesn't work because it's so remote. And I don't know, is that a bus that you can kind of like a camper van type bus that it's I don't know, it looks like that, or is it a tour bus or anything? But it is odd, and the red color is cool right there in the environment. So that the color contrast is really great on this one, and it is odd. And when I saw this, I was like, what? And that's what makes an image good, because you start thinking why and what it is. If you don't see them there, it's very rare. Then you start thinking, what is it doing there? What is it? Why? And it's just marvelous. And then we have an image by Michael Neruda. My picture of the year 2022 combines old passions with a new great passion. I have always loved minimalistic and images with negative space, but in 2022 I found a lot of fun and joy in black and white photography. For this purpose, I have also set up a custom area on my own one for black and white. I even shot black and white film with an old analog camera and developed it myself. It was so much fun. Just loading the film, unbelievable. I can only recommend it to everyone. Yeah, that is something that if you have access to film cameras, try it. It's a bit different, and you one thing that you do is it slows you down. Even though I don't see why not, you could slow down with the digital camera. It's no different. But with film camera, you just cannot rush into the images. It's impossible because then you would, you know, have any image because you would run out of film. You really have to think every single one because there's like 24 or 36 shots per film. So that's why. So I passed by this tree. I knew this must be a black and white picture. I stopped my car, took my camera, and after a few minutes, the picture was done. I did a bit, I did a bit in Capture One and done my best image of 2022. On top of that, we had the weekly assignment tree, and yeah, thanks for the assignment. Great, you're welcome. It's been a big joy, and I hope you guys are also participating in the 2023 edition, which is a bit different. We have a theme for every month. More about that, I will put a link in the description so you can read if that's not something that you are familiar with. But yeah, look at this image. Yes, it is a perfect black and white subject. You colors, it would mess up the image because you would have some strange color casts and everything. Black and white is perfect for this, and the composition is perfect. And I just love that there is a small tree house. That I wonder who has built it, and is someone in there? Is it kids, or is it some photographers hide, or what it is? And I think that's also something that adds up to the image. It's about the story, and also the composition is really great, and the fact that there is a small hill so that it's not straight. The horizon kind of horizon is not straight. There is a slight uphill to the right on the image. And of course, these old trees like this, they are very photogenic in general, and kind of like a lonely tree thing is something that I sometimes look for when I'm out there, but very seldom have I found really good and photogenic trees that I could photograph like this. This is a stunning image. And let's go to the next one. And this is Ola Joval. This photograph. I very often photograph in a city park nearby my home. It is not a very beautiful park with obvious photo opportunities, so you have to be creative and open-minded to find something to photograph. However, I often like that and just walk around with my camera and enjoy the process to be in the moment and interacting with the surrounding nature. From time to time, you come home with a decent image. If not, it was anyhow a very good and relaxing time in the park as well as training to use the camera. One of the best parts of this park is that there is a rather small pond, especially during days with freezing temperature. Recently, it had been a cold night, so I went to the pond to take the image. But the ice was gray and muddy and sprinkled with snow. To me, not very good conditions. However, I walked around this pond for almost 2 hours to, to anyhow try to find something to photograph. This one is one of them. Yeah, worthwhile spending 2 hours. And here we have something that I've said probably during this live stream a couple of times, that you don't need to get an image every time. Like Ola says here, if not, it was anyhow a very good and relaxing time in the park as well as trying to use the camera. So you don't have to get the image every time. And this one took 2 hours. You would think this simple, nice image, but it took 2 hours to make this in a way because you need to find it. You want to have the creativity, and it's a familiar place, so that might help sometimes. Even though sometimes it might be good to go abroad or somewhere that's not familiar to get creative ideas. But this one is really well photographed, and the reflection on the eyes and the structure of the eyes, and then you have the leaves and different color leaves, and this is all about turning the camera, rotating the camera, looking for the angles because you can't move the leaves, of course. You have to kind of find, and I like the way how the leaves go. You have a small leaf, and it's kind of like it goes up to the upper right hand corner. It's a very dynamic image, and of course the structure of the eyes, which I did mention already. And this one also is one of those that you could print on a glossy surface or glossy paper, and then frame it and have it as a as an image. And if there is a pond that's uh, freezing and you have a lot of leaves in there, you could have it kind of like a triptych of these like three images side by side with different shapes and different leaves, and a simple subject well photographed. I really enjoyed this image. And then we have something which is the strangest, in my opinion. This is Anne Kasurinen, a Finn. Not sure if this is the best image from year 2022, but it is one of them I like personally. This was submitted to the 52 assignment rule thirds, and this was kind of like a selfie. That's her hand, and what she said on the text. It's a long text. I'm not going to read it all. And it was hard to get the image right, and took several different attempts to make the image. And this is also an image that you start asking questions. And what is it? Is it a part of some kind of a horror movie or some kind of a surrealistic movie, or what is it? And it's a to be honest, a bit strange idea in a good way. And I really enjoyed this image because something like this is not what I would think of photographing, and that's why it's so refreshing. Because why I personally like this type of assignments and this type of live stream is that I learn a lot myself too, because I see a lot of different types of photography and a lot of different types of photographers and a lot of different types of stories in an image. And we all kind of think differently about photography. Of course, there are some general rules and rules which are not rules, but the way we photograph and the way an image looks good. There are some universal things like terrain painting and sculpture and architecture. There are some certain universal laws that usually apply. But still, we all get different types of images. Like we're seeing today, we've got bird photography, we've got this, we have had everything. And that's what I love about this. And this just was something that struck my eye with being totally different. Well done. And then this is sounds like a Hungarian name, so it's Balázs Györgyek, which I hope I pronounced it correctly. I'm sorry if I did not. It was taken at 5 a.m. at train station on a rainy, dark, cold morning. That's something, going out in a rainy, dark morning, 5 a.m. is not something that you naturally would do. I wouldn't. But for photography, sometimes you just need to do it. And this is a good example that it doesn't have to be sharp. It doesn't have to be correctly exposed. If we talk about correct exposure as what the camera thinks, it's a bit overexposed, but it all adds up to the image. It all is part of the good image, and the composition is really well made. It's not the obvious one, but this is something of style that I really like. This reminds me of the first image that we saw, and it's just grabbing the moment and having fun with breaking all the rules and just go for with kind of like a gut feeling to make an image like this. And I that's why I enjoyed it really a lot. It's not it's not sharp, and it's not about the equipment. It's all about seeing and grabbing the moment. That's why I really like this image. It's also, in my opinion, one of the best ones. And then we still have a few one, and then also one of the absolute best ones. This is Jennifer Haye. The immature squirrels were eating in front of my patio, so I grabbed my camera, and this was one of my images. I like the foreground blur and could have pushed the black point, but left the fur a little with less contrast. Yeah, this is stunning image and a funny image and a sad image, and then the details on the fur is perfect. And like you said, the front blur is perfect. It frames the image, gives nice color, and they have the color contrast, and it's just fantastic image. Like I think Jörg can use that word, and I think it's just stunning. everything works with this. And you took it this from your patio. You didn't go far. You just saw the opportunity, and then of course you got a bit lucky that the image turned out to be like this. But it is also, like I said in the beginning, when I showed this image, it is one of the best ones. Totally, totally, totally cool image. It's just, it's one of those that you don't have words. You just want to look at it and see that, like, whoa, it's, yeah. And then do have this one. And this is Jonas Trumper. And this image is from the Holocaust Memorial in Berlin. And this has a lot of symbolism. The color, the blue, the sinister color. And I've been there and seen this monument. It's if you ever go to Berlin, you want to see this. It's mind blowing. It's stunning place, and it's these pillars, and you can walk between those. It's really hard to explain, but it's a huge area. It's a huge square where you have this, and all the stunt, like he says. I really like I really like how this picture came out. It was a sunny day, and I exposed for the shadows and intentionally blew out the highlights to get this look. The bright parts additionally symbolize hope for me. Yeah, that's you have the dark in the bottom, and then you have the colors, all the white in the top, and it's the hope when you have this color. And I think the bright lights and blown out highlights, it's stunning, and you just this is something also when you see what it is about the monument, it kind of like makes you a bit sad to see, and very emotional image, or raises emotions when you realize what it actually what it actually is. And that was the last image for tonight. I'm sorry that I couldn't show all of your images, but you probably realize we've been here for 93 minutes, still over 100 people, which is a great crowd. Thank you for joining. And if you have any questions, I still could hang out for a few minutes. I'm no rush anywhere, and I don't have to get up early tomorrow because it's 10:30 p.m. here in Finland right now, so I don't have to get up early tomorrow morning. So if you have any questions or comments about the images, then just comment. And like I said, everyone who sent the image, they were good and great images, but unfortunately, I couldn't show them all. I will have these live streams. I hope I can keep up with this schedule, which I did not last year, but I hope I can do it this year for every theme that we have on that 552 assignments. And this one was like one of the extra ones because there's actually 48 assignments, and this was one of the extra ones. And I will have some more extra ones during the year and some live streams. And the next one I will have in a month's time, in the beginning of February, where I will show the best images from 52 assignments theme, which was simple start, and there was about negative space and minimalism and bokeh, and I think it was simple is beautiful was the one assignment that you are photographing in January, and I hope you send as many to that too. But if you have any questions, you could ask. I don't know. There aren't. Yeah, this one I think was what Anna says. This that whose hand we saw grabbing the bed was very different styles and pictures, inspiring. Yeah, that's something that I always tell people with when they want to how to get inspired and how to what photographer should I look is try to look as many as possible, different styles, different genres. If you're a portrait photographer, look at landscape, and if you're a landscape photographer, look at portraits and learn from them. And you can even try that, try different genres, and you don't have to show those images. If it doesn't work, then don't worry. You learned something. You at least you learned that that's not for me, and that's why I think it's for me also these are really inspiring because I see so many images from so many different parts of the world, which is also inspiring to see. Yeah, let's see. Looking forward, yes. Everybody's looking forward for the next live stream. That's good. That's good that I get some pressure. I really need to step up on that and be consistent on that. But there's like 2020 and 21 was a bit slow with the business, but 2022 was a lot more for professional work, and that kind of took me, and I had to really push on that. And now I think it's more smooth and more kind of like how would you say that? It's well, I can handle it better than I did in 2022, which was a bit hard year in a way. A lot of work and a lot of pressure from different things. But anyways, I think I will try to be consistent with this live stream because I can see that you really like them, which is of course really warms my heart that this I'm not doing this for talking walls. But I think I've done covered everything for tonight. And if you didn't see the whole stream, it will be on my channel, so you can watch it from there again. But I know usually watching a live stream isn't that exciting tomorrow or the next day, but you can skip the parts and see if you see an interesting image and stop there and look around and listen what I have to say. And you can also get the comments rolling. But hey, thanks very much for being here and sending the images. And we see you in the next live stream. And hopefully I can see you or you see me in my next videos too. But hey, thanks for watching and bye for now.